What makes a good work of art? I mean, what are the distinctions? Why are some artworks said to be of a high level or of a high standard and admired by so many, critiqued by experts and showcased in museums and galleries of note? What is the criteria for them? Why are some artists like celebrated by many, and why others never caught it or make it at all? What is the difference in the output? I mean, some of these things are mystery. I cannot actually tell you for sure the criteria or the measurements that are taken, but there are two things that are for sure that comes in mind when you consider what type of artworks make the cut. And of course, the artist, the personality of the artist plays a very big role in why an artwork is seen to be good or seen to be admired by many and actually taken to heart by people who make or break the big pictures. For example, an artist who has had a career that has lasted for up to 50 years and had been consistent in exhibiting his or her work and is been in the media, national media, for quite some time, is likely going to command more respect, more price hikes, more auction bids than somebody who has not had that kind of experience. And with art, there's something to do with maturity. You can get viral artist, if I can use the word, which is common these days. You can get a young artist who has some peculiar skill set and has this kind of magnetism that attracts a hell of a lot of attention when they start. But it never really lasts that long because it's kind of a fashion, it's fashionable. This was rife in about 20 years ago, 10 years ago. There were lots of artists both in the UK and in the United States and in Europe who were very, very, very popular, and their works skyrocketed in prices, but they soon fell out of favor. Their prices collapsed and few people mention them these days. It doesn't mean that the artists are not good. It just means that they peak too quickly, too fast. Because one forgets that people like Picasso, the big old boys, that it took them years to get where they got to. Many of them actually became household names when they were like in their 70s or their 80s. Whereas a lot of these young artists, they become quite popular within 5 years of making a museum show. So their reputation is not built on a kind of, I would say, gravitas. Their reputation was mostly built on the fact that what they did were visible in the social media, on the internet. So they gathered a lot of publicity, which then attracted a lot of new money, which then bought into their hype and made them extremely popular. But when so many people did that and the art became marketable, the same people wanted to capitalize on it and started trying to sell it. And then everybody wanted to sell, and then the prices basically crashed. One of them, and I like his work, I must say this before you hear the next thing I'm going to say, was one guy they call Oscar Murillo. He's a quite good painter, but what I just described in the last couple of seconds happened to him, at least I think he did, because his work skyrocketed and then, in a way, packed up. You can buy his works are not cheap now, but compared to what they were selling before, you can now afford them if you have that kind of money. And in a sense, it wasn't his fault. It was just the market greed and people trying to capitalize on what they believe was an easy market. Having said that, an artist who has done his homework, who has built up a reputation, can actually command a lot of money. But we have to be reasonable here. Prices of artworks that are too steep create suspicion in the minds of a lot of collectors and dealers and the public at large, because there is a reasonable hype that obviously drives prices up. And it's important that prices go up, because at the end of the day, art is a business as well as it is a kind of a community action. That is, you want the work to be seen by millions of people if you're lucky, thousands of people if you're lucky again. You want it to be known. So artists generally want their work to be sold to the highest bidder. And hence, every year, one expects that a reputable artist's work will go up in price, to cater for all kinds of anomalies, from inflation to, I don't know what else to say, but they do go up in price. Sometimes by demand, especially if the artist becomes quite famous and the amount of work he has in the market is limited. So that can drive prices up. These are some of the things that as a young artist you must remember. Prices don't go up because of what is on the canvas. Prices go up because of reputation, limitation, and also the determination of the buyer. Some buyers are looking for particular works for certain artists and are determined in their pursuit and are willing to pay whatever it costs to get particular works. So that can also drive up prices. As a young artist, what you have to focus on is actually building your work and your community. That is, people who actually genuinely like your work. And you want them to be your ambassadors. You want them to actually own your work. You don't have to sell to them initially. I believe that one of the best ways to get your work marketed properly is to give away some of your better works. Give it away, because it does really do a hell of a lot of work for you in terms of building your resume. People tend to buy what they've seen or what they've been recommended to see. And if someone likes your work and talks about your work, it's likely going to attract for you a client, a patron, a collector. Because the nature of art is that it is not cheap, it's expensive. So for someone to invest in you, somehow you have been introduced to them, whether you know it or not. Something had introduced your work to them, and that is why they're buying it. They are not necessarily buying it because the picture you painted cannot be duplicated or copied or something. No, they're buying because there's a storyline, there's a history of you that they like. And that is what actually breaks the barrier for price for you. People want to buy your work because they actually like what you're doing. So it's important that you cultivate a community of individuals that help market your work, that help sell your work for you. These individuals could be anybody, but I think that it's good to go for the people who actually have the means to buy your work. Corporate individuals, professionals, people who actually admire works for their aesthetic reasons and who are willing to invest in your future. That is why I believe that by giving people works of art that are free, that you will be able to create a buzz that helps you to generate the paying client or the paying patron. But give away your artwork to people who like art or who will like your art. You have to be open to people. You have to join certain things like, even though you are not a businessman yourself, but I would advise you to find a way to become a member of some of your local chamber of commerce, business communities. Join them, but you're joining them as an outsider, as an artist. In other words, you should prepare yourself like a businessman, even if you're not. And when you join these places and you go to their meetings, introduce yourself, tell them what you do, and then offer to have deeper, meaningful talks with the individuals where you then say you want to present some works for them. Do not, please, do not try and sell the work to any of them. Give away good works of art that you can afford to give away. But there must be good pieces, good selection that actually promotes you. Give it away to these people of influence. They will market the thing for you without you doing anything. Because, for example, if you have it hanging in the office of an entrepreneur, say a guy that owns a restaurant, and it's hanging in his office, or somebody who is a real estate developer, or somebody who is in computing or whatever, these people have influence. And a lot of people associate artworks with a certain quality, a certain kind of way of living that is admirable. So when you give away these works of art, and some of them hang it in their places of abode or office of work, you will find out that more and more influential people, the type that you want, not just anyone, will be seeing your work on a regular basis. And it doesn't take long before some of them will start requesting that they want something by you. And that is when they themselves will start seeking your artwork. They will start scouring the internet or magazines or whatever you are to find you. That's when you know that you are in the game, you're about to make it. That's one of the best organic ways to sell your work. Give it away for free. Even professional marketers do it. People give away cars, they give away telephones, iPhones, they give away holidays to sell more holidays. It's the same principle. You know, holiday companies do it all the time. Restaurants do it all the time. Artists must learn to do it for themselves. Because without that, people don't think that they have a reason to pay you for anything. But when they see that what they have in their hands, the artwork, what they have hanging on their wall, a piece of personal history, personal vision, they start trying to link up to that kind of value. And that's when they are willing to pay without even asking the price. And you must use that technique as a young artist to sell your work. The other way to sell your work is to have a good understanding of marketing, where you actually sell your work like how somebody will sell a car. You advertise it to your target audience, like you need to put your work up for sale in like interior magazine websites or magazine websites or the website themselves. Pay for an advert on it, put a price on it. If a piece of furniture can sell for $4,700, you can put your work to sell for $5,000, because at the end of the day, your work will be more valuable. So the people who know about art will buy your work, but you have to market it cleverly. You do not, for example, start selling it like you don't sell it like if you're selling like a car. What you normally do is you list with a great image, a great photograph of the artwork. You need dimensions and you need the price tag, and then you need to put an email contact or a telephone contact. That's all you have to do. For further information, please call, or for further information, please enter your email to receive our full brochure. Something like that, because with selling art, you have to be subtle. The people who have the money to buy, you can't hustle them. They will buy it in a twinkle of an eye. All they have to do is to see the work in the way they want to see it. And the only way they want to see it is in a very subtle way. So you put the picture of your work, you put the price. Don't be coy about the price, just put the price. People don't like to call you and start asking you about the price. Most people who buy art hate that kind of thing. Just say what the price is. If they're not going to buy it, they won't call you or they won't make any inquiry. But if they want to buy it, they will make the inquiry, they make the call. But they want things to be laid out very clearly, very cleanly, so that they can make their decision in their own time. So the price is important. If your work is very expensive, I guess it's not, because you're a young artist, then you don't have to put the price. You might just say, call this person, request for a quote, call the poet. You can be blasé about it. You can be, you don't have to show the price. But if your work is below $10,000 and you're sure that it's good enough to sell for that kind of money, for the love of God, put the price. Put the price there. And people will decide whether they're going to call you or not. The one good thing about it is that anybody who calls you, anyone who calls you or makes an inquiry is interested in your work. That's one good aspect of that sort of market. If they call you or they inquire about the work, the person is interested in the work. And the good thing is they don't have to buy it. Once they contact you, you can then go down and offer them something more reasonable, like something that's sold for $2,500. Offer it to them and even give them a discount. Why? Because they're a target audience, they like you, they've come for you, so you have to give them something. You cannot let the person go away without getting something. You must sell something of value to them. You can even sell them a small piece of work for $1,000, but you make sure they get something for contacting you. That's how you do marketing when you're doing paid advertising. With that said, I hope that what I've spoken so far in this night work is of some use to you. With that said, again, have a good night.